Welcome back, and today we have a special guest. We have Michael Derbidge, whose junior hockey career has been quite the journey. You started off with the Sudbury Wolves, you had a stint in the Quebec League, you were here at training camp, off to Caledonia, and now you're back in Barrie. Did I miss anything?
Uh, no, I don't think so. I think you got it all.
So, with that whole transition, how excited are you to be a part of the Barrie Colts right now? Because it seems like you're getting some great chemistry right now with Bo Jelsma.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, like you said, I was here at the start, and then when I went to Caledonia, that was like my goal always. Like obviously, it was to come back here, and then I didn't think I'd be playing with Bo. But I mean, yeah, it seemed to be working out as of late, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Well, there was quite the highlight goal there Saturday against Mississauga. I don't know if you saw the replay or not, but that might be one of the goals of the year, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I watched it about 10 times just with gels. I watched it like all the time. I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, I wasn't even like thinking about it. Just Jelly like called for the puck. So, it worked out that way. I was like, oh, what do I do now? And I heard a call. I was like, oh, okay, thank God he's here to bail me out again.
Well,
One
it
of those.
almost looked like you had eyes in the back of your head, so I was curious as to how that all played out.
He's my eyes in the back of my head, eh? Like
Hey, whatever works.
yeah, yeah.
Now, touching on your time in Quebec, so I'm really curious about the difference between playing in the OHL and the Quebec League, because I know your time there was short with Drummondville, but how different is it going from the OHL to the Q?
Yeah, it's like similar speed, but like I would say the OHL is like a bit grittier. I'd say like it's a bit of like a harder league to play in. I'd say like when it comes to like battling and whatnot. But I mean like it was still a pretty skillful league. Like I mean I played with some really good players in Drummondville that um you know like a first rounder was on the team and whatnot. So it was um like it was really good. Like good hockey both ways. It's just I would just say that the OHL has been more I got like it was just more physical, I would say.
And what was the language barrier like? Because Drummondville, you're in the thick of Quebec French there.
Yeah, like I mean, honestly, I was pretty lucky. I met a bunch of beauties that were from like out east, so like a couple New Brunswick buddies and whatnot, and I still keep in touch with them because they were unbelievable guys. But yeah, like even the guys that didn't speak great English, they still always spoke English. Like out of respect for like the room and whatnot. So I mean, they made it pretty easy for you. But yeah, sometimes you go to McDonald's and you gotta just point to what you want or whatnot because it can get a little crazy.
Oh, I can imagine. And then the fan bases there, they seem a little uh, intense, especially with that Drummondville Victoriaville rivalry. You got a taste of that when you started the regular season there.
Yeah, it is actually pretty crazy. Like I remember like my first shift, I like blew a guy up, or like maybe my second shift there, and it was against Victoriaville, and like yeah, it got the crowd buzzing. Like it was pretty crazy. Yeah, like it's loud. And then we went over and did a trip to like Gatineau. And there's one other I'm just forgetting.
Was it up in Val d'Or?
No, yeah, we did that one as well. But it was Gatineau and it was Sherbrooke when they were like really nasty. And yeah, the fans there, they're loud. They get rowdy.
Is it kind of similar to Sudbury? I know they're kind of off the beaten path for the OHL, but then you go up to Rouen, Noranda, and Val d'Or. That's quite the hike with the bus.
Oh, it is a hike. You gotta get comfy on there. Get some Netflix downloads going because no, yeah, like it's similar. Like Sudbury is like I feel like they get amazing fans. They do because it's like one of like the only things I feel like you can really go and watch in that like small town. So it's really similar. Like when we went out like up north in the Q, like similar. Like just they're like diehard type fans. The same fans you see there on a Wednesday, they're gonna be there on a Friday and a Saturday. It's like so they're yeah, it's pretty similar.
And when you got the invite to join the Barrie Colts at training camp, you're from Holland Landing, so your family must have been a little excited that you're coming closer to home to play some junior hockey.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think, but I feel like they were like, oh, we got to deal with this kid more now. Wait, he's way too close almost. So, no, they were like pretty happy that they can come to way more like almost every home game. So they were pretty happy about that. But they also like to joke around about that a little bit.
I love the honesty.
Yeah, yeah.
So with so being from Holland Landing, did you grow up following the Barrie Colts at all, or how did that work?
Um, like not really. Like I honestly I didn't even know what the OHL was until like my minor midget year, which was like COVID years. So like I really had no idea. Like but it is funny, like a small world type story, because like when I was like 7 or 8 years old, I want to say, and I was like still playing like Super Six League. We actually did like we watched the game in Barrie and we got to like see the room and like so it's small world. It's like crazy how it kind of came full circle, but yeah. So that was kind of like the only time I really even got a glimpse of the OHL.
And you, of course, you had that stint in Caledonia, and then with the Barrie Colts, they needed bodies, so you were signed. You joined the Colts in London back
Yeah.
in January, and since you're now back at the OHL level, are you feeling like there's a little more determination in your game to stay at this level going forward?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I mean, Um, my first game in London was like it was a grind. They're a really good team, and I was like pretty you know, I wasn't nervous, I'd say, but I was just kind of like, oh yeah, like this is Lundo on a Friday, and they're ready to play, type game, and I was like, okay. And then honestly though, like Marty and Smoz and Bars, they all like made it as easy as they possibly could for me to succeed. They told me exactly what to do and where to be, and they helped me a lot. And it goes obviously deeper than that. There's a lot of really nice faces that have, just made me feel a lot better about maybe I messed up a play or whatnot. But they made my kind of break into the team pretty seamless.
And it seems like you've gotten very comfortable these last few weeks. We already touched on Bo Jelsma, but even just the team right now competing for that final playoff spot in the East, it seems like
Yeah.
everyone's buying into it right now, and it feels kind of like playoff hockey right now.
Oh, big time. I mean, like I kind of just said, like, our coaching staff, they make it as easy as possible for us to succeed. Like, I mean, if it's in video, they'll tell you exactly how to be better the next game so we can win games. I don't think there's one guy on this team that cares about individual, accolades. I think everybody's kind of bought into the aspect of like winning, and I think we all want to just win and make it to the playoffs because I think we think we're good enough to be an upset. I think we bring a lot of heart every game, a lot of hard work, and sometimes that'll win you games.
And of course, big game tomorrow up in Sudbury, your former team. You must get excited when you can play those Wolves as a member of the Barrie Colts now.
Yeah, I mean it's always good. Like I obviously a lot of familiar faces when I go up to Sudbury, so but it's still business. So we're obviously going in to try to get the 2 points, but it'll be good to see, a couple of my buddies after the game and old billet families and whatnot. It's always a good time.
And if you guys meet in the playoffs, I guess adds a little wrinkle there, eh?
Yeah, I mean, if we see them in playoffs, I want to win. That's I think that's everyone's goal, obviously, but I think it would feel a lot better if I could beat, my old team. But obviously I can't do it alone. We all got to do it. But they're a good team, so we know that if it does end up being Sudbury, we're gonna have to bring it every single night.
Well, Michael, thanks for doing this, and thanks you for the insight on the whole Quebec journey there.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for asking about it.
So that was Barrie Colts forward Michael Derbidge, and it's fascinating just to see how some players, their path in junior hockey can be, point A to point B. They want to make it to the National Hockey League and they stay with one team. But when you see a story like Michael Derbidge, it's fascinating. Just the journey. You get drafted by the Sudbury Wolves. You end up going to the Quebec League for a few games. He ended up playing 6 games with the Drummondville Voltigeurs. And I've been to a couple of games personally up in the Quebec League, and it's a whole other environment. So it's really cool to hear players' perspective on that. And Michael Derbidge fitting in quite nicely with the Barrie Colts. If you haven't seen the highlight goal between with him and Bo Jelsma from Saturday against the Mississauga Steelheads, I highly recommend it. That was a beauty of a goal. Derbidge carrying the puck into the attacking zone, split the D, and then dropped it over to Jelsma, who was able to put it back behind Jack Ivankovic. It was a beautiful goal. Nothing Ivankovic could do. But just to see that confidence that Derbidge has right now is great to see. And that's why we love junior hockey, seeing these young players develop and just to see their game continue to grow. So that's Michael Derbidge with the Barrie Colts. And as we mentioned in the interview, the Colts in Sudbury Wednesday nights, but they will be back in action at the Sadlin Arena on Saturday when they take on the Niagara Ice Dogs. Puck drop for that game will be at 7:30. Gene and I will have the call on Rogers TV, and Thomas West will be ringside. So let me know in the comments section down below your thoughts on Michael Derbidge's play. Maybe you have some stories from your junior hockey travels if you've ever been to the Quebec League. And yeah, just love to see the interaction. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon.